Alright everyone, I figured on just making a specific standalone video just on the topic of what happens if I'm deplatformed. Where will the sticks be? Will you ever see my videos again? Oh my god. Yes, the answer of course is yes, you will. If you, of course, join me on other sites, if you're just watching me on YouTube or you're just following me on Twitter or whatever, you're not even getting like the full scope of what I'm doing. Sometimes exclusive material does end up going on other sites. It's beginning to, especially on Minds, which is kind of like free speech Facebook plus blogging capabilities and video hosting. It's starting to pick up now that they've introduced, you know, their token system. It's beginning to grow much more quickly, it seems. The amount of engagement on site has steadily increased for several weeks, to an extreme degree. Now, I am not joking, to an extreme degree. Gab is now growing more quickly in the wake of Twitter making a series of unfortunate decisions. BitChute's been growing all along, especially when InfoWars joined. I gained like 3,000 additional subscribers there. All of these sites have or are working on apps, by the way. It's just a matter of getting them onto these different stores, where oftentimes they're blocked because they don't censor things enough. If you've got a free speech site, be a problem. My advice to them is go ahead and negotiate on the apps for now. Release them in order to buff up your websites, and then use your sites as a platform to complain about the fact that the app stores are heavily censored. That's what you should be doing. Like to Gab, they tried to release a second version of their app that was going to be more censored, had like hate words and stuff. Manipulate it further, make it even more censorious. And then tell people, hey, look, this is what you have to do to exist on the smartphone-based side of the internet. Look at all the stuff that you have no choice but to censor. They want to control what you see and hear. A good way to grandstand. It makes sense to me. But I would like to introduce the concept of cyberprepping. That is, for people. It's like with prepping in the real world. Prepping often is used as evidence someone's paranoid, or they hate the government, they think martial law is coming. No, it's no different than like health insurance. Buying health insurance doesn't mean you're expecting to get sick, but you're saying, hey, if I do get sick, if I get injured, I'm covered, at least to some degree. Of course, you can still owe thousands of dollars even after the health insurance kicks in. The health insurance is broken, so not the greatest example. Or life insurance. I'm not expecting to die, but if I die unexpectedly, my family gets like 50 grand or something, so it makes sense. I'm paying in a little bit here and there. It's not breaking the bank, and in the case if something highly unfortunate happens, I'm covered. It's the basic same premise as prepping. Prepping is more than just, well, martial law, nuclear wars. And no, it's also for natural disasters. Hey, you've got your bunker. It's full of canned goods and stuff. You can spend days down there. Let's say that there's a local epidemic. Let's say plague breaks out. It's like, everyone, stay on your property. You will not go anywhere. Everything's quarantined. Well, I'm just fine. Hey, I've got my generator and I've got my canned beans and my camp stove. I'll be just fine down in my root cellar. Bye, I'll see you in a week. It's the same premise. Tornadoes coming. Hey, everything up there is destroyed, but hey, I'll be eating like a king. Hey, I can even help my neighbors because I was prepared. Disaster preparation goes hand in hand with prepping in the general sense. Cyber prepping, therefore, is the premise that a person is taking steps so that if the worst happens and they are depersoned across the normie internet, their presence is still there uninterrupted, the content is still there, their fans are still able to access it. Or if they themselves are a fan, they've prepared by following the people that they watch on other platforms. Content creators need to get together in a more organized fashion to begin doing this. That is what I would say. Is that larger content creators, especially those who delve into politics and social analysis, tech news, anything related to news certainly, we need to get together and form a non-aggression principle between us, not a non-competition principle. It's impossible anyway. We are innately competing with one another for time usage. But we need to stop, it's like there have been cases where, someone gets doxxed or someone gets banned, they get raided, brigading happens, and two groups of people start attacking each other, or their fan bases, for some reason, think that the creators don't like each other. Like for a while, some people thought like I had to stick up my ass about Sargon or something. I don't have to stick up my ass about Sargon. Yeah, we compete for people's time usage. in an innate sense, and he wanted to be, bigger on BitChute. That won't happen. The liberalists lost to the clankers. I'm headed up towards 30K. Just so he knows, who's boss on BitChute. I'm just joking. But no, we need non-aggression, and we need to prepare. These alt-tech sites are swiftly growing. They're beginning to advance further. The use of the blockchain is definitely helping. Steemit is rapidly growing too. Everyone should have a presence on all these sites, like link in the description. I'm on Steemit/DTube. Mostly I post videos there, but it has a blogging function. It's throttled slightly, for spam prevention, but it is functional. The Steemit itself is highly functional. I've never had any problems. DTube sometimes has problems with uploads. Not a huge amount. Usually it's like for a day it'll have problems, and towards the end of the day for some reason it frees back up. I'm not sure why. I'm on Dailymotion. Dailymotion isn't alt-tech, but it is a mainstream competitor, technically speaking, to YouTube. A lot of the sites in French, but much like with VidMe, you'll remember. On VidMe, a large proportion of the site was German. Germans were joining the site to escape censorship to put up their videos. The German gaming community especially. Some of the top users, I think 3 of them were German gaming channels by the end of VidMe. If the English-speaking world, most of the political commentary is English or Spanish-speaking, if we were to pour onto Dailymotion as well, no problem. Link in the description. I'm on all these sites. Gab. Gab is basically a free speech Twitter. I realize that at the moment I don't think that their app is like allowed on the Google Play Store. I can't remember. Are they on the Apple Store? I'm not sure. I thought that they had an app, but that they were having problems getting it onto Google, if I can remember correctly. I think. I'm not 100% sure, so don't, you'll have to correct me if I'm wrong. Minds, and then, of course, BitChute. There are others as well. Some people still use Vimeo or Veo or one of these other video sites. And then there's there's blogging functionality. I have a pair of blogs. My WordPress blog is not linked to, anything Google related. So at least insofar as WordPress goes, if I got deplatformed off normie internet, my WordPress blog, which is literary, would still be there. I could give updates if necessary. Ultimately, though, it's my preference, the first orders of priority, and this may sound strange, the first order of priority would be minds.com, simply because, unlike with BitChute, you have to upload a video. With Gab, it's like people who are using smartphones at the moment more throttled. Minds, I don't believe, has either of these problems. I could instantaneously tell people, hey, the YouTube account's gone. And it's not that I'm expecting that to happen. Like when you look at the people who are being deplatformed and it's actually sticking, as opposed to just being raided and it takes them days to get back on because they have to appeal everything and yada, yada, yada. My account is a bit different. I don't think that I have any of the markers necessary to actually be deplatformed on a permanent basis off any of the... Maybe Twitter, but then it's Twitter, who cares? Or Facebook, it's like there's nothing on my Facebook group. I don't think that Zuckerberg's going to find anything to bitch about. But at this point, Minds would probably be the quickest way to get notified of that, all things considered. But really, if you're not joining content creators on all of their alt-tech accounts at the very least, or alternative accounts, some people, they have a backup YouTube, they have several Facebook groups, InfoWars had like 4 or 5. The problem is that as you get more well-known, it becomes more likely that they will very quickly figure out which accounts are associated with you. So it wouldn't be just, hey, your Facebook group is banned. It would be your Facebook group and these 2 pages and your personal account and your backup account, they're all banned. On Twitter, it wouldn't be just, hey, your Twitter handle is gone. It's, hey, you can't even make a new one and we'll repeatedly ban you. On YouTube, it's not, like, again, with InfoWars. It isn't so much that they temporarily suspended Alex Jones. It's that then they kicked him off the site using, I believe, the excuse, predominantly, of, well, he was streaming on a backup channel. No info was ever given to InfoWars that that was against the rules, by the way. It wasn't, because it's a separate channel. And that's a gray area that YouTube has never actually clarified, surprisingly enough. If you're completely banned, you're not supposed to use YouTube services. But what if you're not? What if it's a temporary suspension? You happen to already have a backup account. You're not allowed to stream or post anything to it for that same, however many weeks long period. It's a very, very strange system, all things considered. It's a little bit of a gray area. They do need to come out and clarify that. Because in that case, they applied it very stringently to InfoWars. So yeah, that would be a little bit about deplatforming. I don't expect to be. And I'm on alt text, so it's like my videos would still be there. I'd still be uploading to DTube and BitChute. I'd still be posting on Minds. I'd still have a Gab account. You can still get notified of everything. But I would ask that you follow me on all of these things. My side, the creator's side, is they need to make those alternative accounts, populate them, put their stuff there. The goal of those that patronize their material ultimately should be to be on those accounts as well. Otherwise, there may be an interruption in service. All of a sudden, you don't get any spoon clank notifications in the morning. Why? Oh, the account's gone or something. Not likely. But again, cyber prepping at this point, because we've got so many witch hunts going on after non-existent totalitarians and people complaining and whining, anything mildly offensive is seen as like the worst thing since World War II, and people are constantly getting abused and raided and doxxed and attacking one another in a vicious manner, and because we're all being defamed by the legacy media on a regular basis, it makes sense to have backup presences. In a sense. At this point, Minds and BitChute especially aren't backup presences. I don't use really Facebook. Minds is the main social media presence that I have. I don't know why you wouldn't be on there if you have anything about social media at all that's positive to you. As far as BitChute goes, every upload is shared out from there. I was doing that with Dailymotion. I'm going to sporadically bounce back and forth between the two. I am trying to become a major Dailymotion user. If you can have 3,000 subscribers on there, you are on their top 100 list, I believe, actually. It's quite something. That's about all. Peace out.